Hello, everybody. Good time zone, all you slugcats, synthetic lifeforms, and slizzards, one and all. Welcome to day 2 of the Torrential Trepidation Tournament. I will be your commentator to start us off, Drecky Ormer. And here we have the wheel of immense slugcat possibilities. Our runners will be in the drainage system, but what form will they take? The wheel will tell us all. And it seems the Spearmaster is what our players will be using. And if you're tuning in for the first time, our players have been given a predetermined save file. They've now been given a determined slugcat. They will have about 13 minutes to entertain, amaze, and cause all sorts of shenanigans, which you can participate using the channel points. You can spawn items, spawn creatures, spawn the rain. The choice is yours. And if you see anything amusing, bemusing, or terrifying, clip it and put it in the event channel. All right. On the left side, we have the orange lizard. On the right side, we have the pink lizard. Which one will get your vote? Our players are synchronizing and setting up. And we will get day 2 kicked off momentarily. So get those channel points ready. Oh, and we got both of them almost at the same time. Pink lizard already breaking out the double spears. Orange lizard opting for a void color palette, also going for the double spears. Let's see where our players go from here. Pink lizard already activating their night vision goggles. Orange lizard getting some as well. Pink going north while orange is opting for the westward expansion. It seems our players... Oh no! Pink lizard almost running afoul of a red lizard, but alas, it is already taking a nap. And it seems Pink Lizard takes first blood while Orange Lizard disregards their westward expansion, opting for the same path Pink Lizard was going. Pink Lizard navigating quite far through these pipes. There's a cyan on their tail. They try and distract it with a spear, and Orange Lizard got our first death. They'll have to start over once again. Pink Lizard in low gravity at the mercy of the cyan, but manages to dive into that pipe, making it to the next zone. They seem to be unstoppable. Orange Lizard getting flung over to the west. Seems to be slightly confused. Uh-oh, there's a scavenger, and the rain is coming. Both of our players contemplating violence against their fellow friends. Orange Lizard taking out the pole plant. I guess they do not care for its mimicry of other climbable objects. Pink Lizard climbing their way up to the scavenger. Will they be friend or foe? There is a lizard in the water with them. Orange Lizard acquired a slug pup. They're taking it for a ride. Oh, and Pink Lizard finds their room exploding, and it seems they are still trying to evade that cyan who wants a taste of delicious slugcat goodness, but Pink Lizard says no and gives them a spear. Orange Lizard heading west with their child. There's a couple scavengers. They better watch out. Scavengers do not like slug pup nuggets. Pink Lizard seems to be trying to evade further lizards spawning on top of their head. chasing backwards to try and commit more violence. Orange Lizard lost in the zero gravity of this room. Thankfully, they have a couple spears that they are using to get a little bit of momentum. Uh-oh, we got a red lizard in the zones, but it seems this red lizard is taking a nap. Pink lizard trying to scare some of this train lizard away, opting to abandon that area. They have their own little slug pup, and they throw some spears at the kelp. We say no deaths to kelp today. They go over and give it a little high five. Oh no! It seems Pink Lizard has fallen afoul of some explosions. They've lost their child, but have gone back to pick them back up. Orange Lizard still holding on to their child and going quite far. Those tunnels are pretty dangerous. All those lizards on their screen, they better be careful. Pink Lizard sliding quite far, getting somewhat confused with all the teleporting. Their pup goes for a dive, attempting to swim. Pink Lizard allowing them to fend for themselves. Eel Lizard spawning in their zone. That's pretty dangerous for all the water. Orange Lizard finally... Oh, nope. Seems they're still a little bit stuck trying to do a bit of pipe juking with all of these lizards and centipedes. Oh my. Close quarters combat. Pink Lizard with the zero gravity going up the pipe. Hopefully things don't reverse and slam them back down. Oh, they grab the wall before fatally splatting into the water. Orange Lizard in the room of chaos trying to make progress. Pups are all over the place. All sorts of lizards looking for some chicken nuggets. Oh, and an explosion throws more chaos into the mix. Pink Lizard looks to be aiming for a shelter, wanting to rest amidst this insanity, making a little bit of progress, and they get it. We have our first save of this round. Our players are trying to do anything they can. We have about half the time left. We'll have to see where Pink Lizard is trying to get to. Orange Lizard still stuck on this room of chaos. More and more creatures spawning in. They've finally tried to make a bit of progress, abandoning all of their children. The whole menagerie coming right after them in the pipe. The explosions throwing a bit of chaos. The Aquapede and all sorts of other creatures making things quite confusing. Aquapede not sure what to do. Doesn't know how to breathe oxygen. Pink Lizard making through the underwater zone of drainage. We'll see if they can swim without drowning. They seem to have left behind their slug pup once again. Orange Lizard squeezing by the Aquapede. We have some ominous music for our players. Pink Lizard at risk of drowning. Oh, they found an air pocket. They may be able to make it back to that pipe. Orange Lizard also trying to do a bit of diving. Some rain is coming through, however. This may prove a problem. Ooh, Orange Lizard. Are they headed to outskirts? Oh, they seem to be going back up. What are they trying to grab? Oh, and our players have activated their night vision. Orange Lizard with a wiggly boy doesn't want to interact. Continues onward. It does look like they are headed towards outskirts, but the rain may get them. Pink Lizard opting to head towards their own new zone. Let's see if they can get through the gate successfully, however. Both of our players getting to gates at the same time. Must be their special eyes with their special vision. Oh, and Orange Lizard getting teleported to the other side of the gate. We'll see if they can get through. Uh-oh. Pink Lizard opting to be teleported into a shelter, but not enough food. Their zone has flooded with the rain. Orange Lizard also getting flooded. It looks like both players have been denied progress into their next region. Unfortunate. They have perished. Orange Lizard going to be reverted back to their starting point. Pink Lizard, however, having a bit of progress, and both players with shelter failure. It looks like they're going to have an extra long cycle, but it's going to be extra wet, which poses a problem for them down here in the drainage zone. We are pretty far down. Pink Lizard going to have to go for a swim, doing their best rivulet impression. Orange Lizard immediately out the gate heading west. They activate their night vision goggles. Unfortunately, there is very little light to see, and it is pure darkness. Both players given some shroom juice and everything slow down. We don't see many foes. Oh, and now everything speeds right back up. Our players going zoomy, zoomy, zoomy. There's another pole plant that Pink Lizard is trying to avoid. We'll see if they grab the wrong... Oh, and they spear it. Goodbye, pole mimics. We have a gang of scavengers rolling up on Pink Lizard. They opt to say no and run right past. Orange Lizard having a bit of a concussive blast in close range, and they perish once again. Oh, and Pink Lizard suffers the same. Seems our players are going back to their starts. Orange Lizard still with their night vision goggles. It's not giving them much use. They finally remember to turn them back off. They commit extreme violence against the pole plant and continue onward, avoiding all sorts of lizards spawning in their northward area. Pink Lizard trying to go north again as well. I imagine our players are going to try and make sure they get nice and fed so they don't run into a situation where they can't rest once again. Zero gravity making it difficult for our players to go vertical, or in our Orange Lizard's case, horizontal. Pink Lizard attempting to use their many spears, but constantly dropping them, their butterfingers making it hard. Orange Lizard suffering a similar fate. They rip out a couple more and find themselves thrown right back to their starting zone. They use the momentum and zero gravity to finally make it across the gap. They wave high to the scavengers below them, but uh-oh, it seems gravity has returned, and there is a scavenger threatening Orange Lizard. Pink Lizard finding themselves in a bit of a rain, and they gotta go underwater again. It's gonna be a little bit dicey if they can manage to make it out. Orange Lizard trying to make their way over to their new look region, but it seems Blue Lizard has other ideas coming right up on their tail. Scavengers join the zone as well. It is pure chaos for Orange Lizard. Pink Lizard stuck on the ground. Seems our players may have gotten a little bit... Oh, and Pink Lizard perishes. Orange Lizard suffering a bit of explosion. We'll have to see if they survive. No, they were not able to survive. They are once again returning to start. Pink Lizard making it across the gap this time. Going through the pipe network, it seems they are able to avoid... Oh, a slug pup. Pink Lizard going back to give them a grab. Oh, and we have got the cyberpunk vision activated. We'll have to see if Pink Lizard can find their child amidst this chaos. And oh, they don't find their child. They find a spear from a scavenger, I believe. Nope, it seems they were bit and they survived. And they are still going strong. Orange Lizard themselves contending with a lizard that tracing them across the water. They were not able to get across the gap. They're trying to use spears to get up. Oh, Pink Lizard was not able to recover their child and progress through the pipe. They have perished and are starting over once again. Turning off their night vision goggles, our players can see once again an explosion on Orange Lizards that propels them across the gap. Somewhat helpful. They have assembled a child. Another explosion, shuffling the zone. We'll have to see if they can get across. Oh, a third explosion. I'm not sure how many things are able to survive, but Orange Lizard is still alive themselves. Although a party of red lizards has appeared, taking a nap. We'll have to see if any of them wake up. Pink Lizard once again doing a rivulet impression. We'll have to see how far they can swim. They find their air pocket. Orange Lizard, it is a constant firework explosion. Our players do not have much time to get to their locations. Oh, and it seems Pink Lizard has finally got a foe on the zone, but it is just a red lizard taking a nap and besploding. Orange Lizard cannot take a break, has not been able to change screens with all the explosions and bodies ragdolling. Oh my. But they are not quitting. They are not dying. They are holding on for dear life, trying to firmly grasp their slug pup children. Pink Lizard also trying to make their way into the pipe without drowning or getting caught by this centipede in the water. Uh-oh. The centipede might be blocking the pipe, but they managed to get a helpful teleport through into the next zone. Orange Lizard backtracking a bit, finding an unfortunate Wiggly Boy, the long legs, squiggling around. The question is, can they avoid it, or will they go back to the room of explosions? Pink Lizard moving on to their next rivulet swim zone. Orange Lizard getting a helpful teleport across the zone, but it seems they perished in the process. Pink Lizard and Orange Lizard activating some interesting special vision. They don't have much time left. Will Pink Lizard be able to make it to the next region? Will Orange Lizard be able to make it to the next screen? We'll have to see if our players can get much further. Oh no, Pink Lizard having many caramels and centipedes in their way. Orange Lizard dying on the screen before they can make it to a pipe. And it seems our players have run out of time. All right, the poll is open. Which of our lizards are you voting for? Are you an Orange Lizard fan or a Pink Lizard stan? Make sure you select the player and vote. We've got Pink Lizard slowly eking out an early lead, but it is neck and neck. Both players almost making it to another region. Pink Lizard being our only contestant who was able to have a successful cycle rest. However, that did not seem to give them much advantage as they were unable to make further progress. Orange Lizard suffering a massive amount of setbacks with all of the explosions and bodies. Oh my, making a lizard soup, a lizard stew. However, they were much more motherly, I would say. They went back for the children pretty often. Pink Lizard still in the lead. Any Orange Lizard fans better rally forth if they want to make sure that person wins. All right. While we prepare our next set of players, we are going to go to intermission. Make sure to vote. All right, our next set of victims have just finished setting up tents in the industrial complex, but let's make this a little bit more industrial simple by giving them a slug cat to use. We will spin the wheel of slug cat possibilities. What will they get this time? Oh, it seems we have got some hunters here today. Hunters with that back spear will allow them to be quite combative. Makes it pretty easy to recover from buttery fingers, but we'll see how much combat our players will be able to do. I'll make sure they set up and synchronize, and we will get this started shortly. Once again, we have Orange Lizard and Pink Lizard. Same names, different person puppeteering. Both players have already played one game. Perhaps you've already seen them, but you won't know. And Orange Lizard takes the lead, starting first. We'll have to see what each of our players plan to do in the industrial complex. There are plenty of paths they could be taking. Seems Orange Lizard starving? Nah, it seems they were just taking a bit of a nap, grabbing the karma flower and chomping it down. Both of our players taking solace that for at least one cycle they will remain at maximum karma. Whoa, a lizard cannon almost getting Pink Lizard got. They're opting to go the opposite direction of that mole lizard. Orange Lizard trying to go towards the right to avoid that red lizard. Low gravity making it difficult for them to navigate. Both players activating their special eyes. We'll have to see if that gives them any kind of advantage. Orange Lizard seems to be trying to go rightward, while Pink Lizard went up and now down. Perhaps they are trying to fall downwards and head to outskirts. Orange Lizard stumbling upon a king vulture in close quarters. We'll have to see if the hunter can become the hunted. Pink Lizard, trying to avoid many lizards chomping down on them, seems to have gotten munched, but a fortuitous explosion chucks them loose. Unfortunately, the mole lizard recovers faster and bites them once again. Orange Lizard seems to be heading down, 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 and to the right, coming up right behind a green lizard, giving it a couple spears to the back. Seems to have gotten the first blood today. Pink Lizard seems to have survived and shaken loose. No deaths yet from either player. Orange Lizard raiding the scavenger stash, grabbing an explosive spear or two. Pink Lizard finding themselves lost. They were going up. They have a child now. Uh-oh, the rain seems to be coming. Orange Lizard causing a bit of a ruckus with their explosive spears. Many lizards making themselves present for their explosive throws. Pink Lizard trying to navigate while grasping their child. A red lizard taking a nap. Oh, and a trade lizard launches itself out. Pink Lizard decides against trying to continue through the T-spin room. Orange Lizard finds themselves got as they go through that pipe. Starting over once again. Pink Lizard hiding over on the side of a pipe, taking their child on a bit of uppies, going to use a shortcut pipe. We'll have to see which direction they're going to go. Oh, and a teleport takes them quickly upward, finds himself in the same room as Orange Lizard. Orange Lizard causing a bit of mayhem with a pink lizard, but a grub sticking itself around, making it a little bit difficult to do some targeting. Orange lizard finding themselves slain. It seems their combat was not so great. Pink lizard finding a drop wig and now some cyans, saying no to the cyans jump, trying to go down through a pipe, but it's blocked by a napping red lizard, but a helpful teleport takes them through into the T-spin room. Oh, the T-spin room stuffed full of a menagerie of lizards, and they cannot escape. We'll have to see if they can wiggle free of this orange lizard, or if they're going to call it quits. Oh, a camo lizard tries to take a bite, letting them shake free. Orange lizard finding themselves lost and alone, trying to take out another lizard in the long hallway of doom. Both Scugs activating their special eyes. Pink lizard once again getting got, this time finally instantly dying, their first death of the run. Orange lizard making themselves rightward. We'll have to see if they are trying to get to Shaded Citadel or Chimney Canopy, or if they have other plans in their travels. There are many more lizards blocking their path. Pink lizard trying to do a bit of combat with a scavenger. It seems they're opting to let bygones be gone by as they go upwards and downwards and upwards and downwards. Orange lizard finding themselves back to the start of the room. Lower gravity delivering them directly into the jaws of an orange lizard. Alas, their child now floats alone. Pink lizard with a child of their own going down. And make it to the T-spin room. Darkness has descended. Unfortunately, our players did not bring a flashlight. An explosion shuffles things up for Pink Lizard. We'll have to see if they can grab their child once again, or if they will abandon it into the Green Lizard's jaws. Orange Lizard going outside, but there is a moonless night tonight. Oh, and Pink Lizard finds themselves in the grasp of another lizard, and they perish. Orange Lizard being teleported into a shelter, but they have not fed. Finding themselves right in front of a derpy caramel lizard who flops, unable to grasp the delicious succulent slugcat in their jaws. Orange lizard similarly failing to slay and consume the caramel lizard. That seems they have decided to disregard the lizard combat zone and go straight to the outskirts gate. Pink lizard in the T-spin room going a bit of back and forth. Seems to be deciding whether they should grasp the child and walk around, or if they should try and make more progress. But they have gone back for the child. Child being a little bit slippery, but they have it on their back, and now they run. Orange lizard having a friendly red centipede to deal with. But it seems they have wiggled on by with a fortuitous explosion. Now they fall down, down, down. We'll have to see if they can preserve this progress by finding shelter, but first they need some food. Pink Lizard doing a bit of roundabouts, the teleports and flings, making it difficult for them to figure out where they're going. Oh, they seem to have lost their child in the last teleportation accident. Orange Lizard now contending with many, many of their lizard brethren. Dropping down right behind a green lizard, but not having a spear to slay them. It seems they're going to have to go for a run. Oh, flung right back at them, almost consumed. Another few slug pups have appeared. A pop turtle sending a slug pup over into the waiting jaws of a green lizard. Oh no! Pink lizard similarly having difficulties grasping a child. There is a drop wig threatening the direction they want to go. A blue lizard wiggling around, and Pink Lizard deciding to drop down away from all of their foes. Actually, I believe that's an eel lizard, and it has fallen. Orange Lizard in a room full of lizards seems to still be trying to get a little bit of food, just a morsel, so they can rest and preserve progress. But the amount of foes on the screen will make this very difficult, as they not only need to kill one, but also grab a bite to eat. Pink Lizard doing a bit of hopscotch across the pipes, Terrain Lizard appearing. They're deciding whether they want to continue upward. Oh, and Orange Lizard gets got. It looks like their progress in Outskirts will not be preserved. Pink Lizard being washed down. The Train Lizard now on the level with them. We'll have to see if they can avoid being consumed. And now our players have the mushroom juice. Orange Lizard going down, down, down into the T-spin room. Seems they are dead set on that Outskirts progress. Pink Lizard trapped in the long room, trying to go up, trying to go down. And Aquapede somehow finding its way here. A lot of aquatic creatures. It'd be pretty crazy if we had a Leviathan spawned in here now. We would assemble the entire aquarium, but open air. Orange Lizard helpfully being teleported to the other side of the Outskirts gate. Unable to muster the karma to go back to Industrial. It seems they're going to have to leave behind their child. The low gravity is going to make it difficult for them to avoid the blue and orange lizard. Oh, and pink lizard gets got. They still have a smidge of karma, unlike orange lizard, who has fallen into the depths of rage. But they have managed to consume. They are satiated. Now all they need to do is make it to a shelter safely. Thankfully, Chad is giving our players a bit of advice in their travels. I'm sure the players appreciate it. Pink Lizard utilizing the low gravity to try and go up. Alas, Chat has other ideas, teleporting them back downwards. The explosions making it difficult for Orange Lizard to get outside of the gate room. Creatures constantly finding their way in front of the pipe. Pink Lizard once again falling down. Oh, and Orange Lizard gets chomped and thrown back. They were not able to save their Outskirts progress. Pink Lizard running afoul a bunch of rain, hopefully holding onto that taser spear does not prove a poor decision amidst the water. They make it into a pipe with the mushroom juice slowing things down. A blue and caramel lizard drop in for a party. Another lizard coming in from up top. The rain seems to have washed in another eel lizard, an egg bug, extremely confused, panicking, leaping everywhere. Orange Lizard noping out of a room with a fistful of lizards coming out of the pipe behind them. We have ourselves a honker. Orange grabbing the yeek and going for a hop, skip, and jump. We'll have to see how useful that yeek is, especially when it explodes, launching itself out of their grasp. Pink Lizard probably quite happy for all of these imploding creatures. However, there is a living red lizard they now have to contend with. Two red lizards chasing after them, wanting that delicious slugcat meat, getting bit and slayed. It seems Pink Lizard is going to have to take the L and start over. Now they have no extra karma, joining Orange Lizard in the depths of rage. Orange Lizard finding themselves scared by a red lizard, grasping a child and taking it on a tour of the industrial complex. An egg bug spawning in front. They seem to have dropped their child, opting to leave it behind, possibly as a sacrificial tail, leaving the lizard food behind. I'm sure they appreciate the chicken nuggets. Pink Lizard opting for a similar path, but no child of their own, going onward without too much problems. Orange Lizard seems to have kept going east. They may be headed towards Shaded Citadel. That would be a problem unless they're praying for chat to give them a friendly teleport. A luckily timed low gravity makes the path easy for Orange Lizard to jump across. Pink Lizard finding themselves in low gravity and slow down time, trying to make their way up to a slug pup. They have one on their back, but a pop turtle is jealously guarding their path forward. Orange Lizard finding themselves in a tussle amidst lizards and centipedes. Oh my, an explosion shaking things loose, and a teleport getting them through the pipe, where a winged centipede is jumping around, almost seems to grab them, but Orange Lizard says no with a spear to the centipede's face. Seems Orange Lizard's feeling a bit aggressive, trying to kill it, but being grabbed instead. They have gone back for more spears, and it seems they have slain the winged centipede, maybe taking a bit of a bite so they can get a new rest. Pink Lizard finally getting their way through the pipe, taking a nibble out of a dead creature as they go onward. Seems they have lost their child. Oh no! The Pink Lizard stepped on a landmine, booby-trapped dead lizard. Gave them a little bit of a backflip, but it looks like they're okay. Oh, night seems to have come to the industrial complex. Our players don't have much time left. We'll have to see if any of them can make it further and rest. Orange Lizard getting pretty close to Shaded Citadel. We'll have to see if they rest here. Oh, and a lizard seems to have crawled out of the pipe. Another red lizard popping out, guarding them from getting into the shelter. Another lizard showing up to the other side. Orange Lizard not sure if they're going to make it. The rain coming down. Both of our players running out of time. All right, the poll is open, everybody. Choose which player you think deserves their second win. Orange Lizard or Pink Lizard. Both of our players were trapped in the clutches of the industrial complex. Orange Lizard managed to make it to the outskirts a couple times. However, they were not able to seal the progress, falling afoul their needs to eat before making it to the shelter. Pink Lizard, however, was able to escort a pup much more often than our Orange Lizard, and they had the longest cycle without death, finding themselves able to wiggle free the grasp of many lizards. A mole lizard, an orange lizard, oh my, but in the end, they were consumed as well. Orange Lizard is certainly taking the lead out the gate, but if you are a Pink Lizard fan, you better pile on in now. And we are going to go to intermission while we set up our next set of players. All right, our players have been washed down into the garbage wastes We'll have to see which slug cat the no doubt extremely nutritious water has transformed them into. With a spin of the wheel of slug cat possibilities. And it seems we have a rivulet, the wet mouse themselves. There's not a lot of water here, but we'll have to see how well they can move on through the garbage wastes. We'll get our players transformed shortly and synchronized before we get in. All right, our players are locked and loaded. Orange Lizard and Pink Lizard ready to duke it out once again. Same faces, different puppets. I will have about 13 minutes to entertain, amaze, and horrify. And don't forget to use those channel points. And they're off! Pink Lizard edging out their start by just a nose. We find our rivulets waking up in the garbage wastes. We'll have to see where they are going. Will they give the shoreline a visit, the rivulets' natural habitat? Or will they decide to backtrack? Only they know. Oh, a caramel lizard interrupting Pink Lizard's dinner time. They slide right on away. Orange Lizard also finding themselves being chased by a cyan. Oh boy, the critters, oh my, clogging up the tunnel. Both of our players trying to find any way out amidst the chaos. Pink Lizard finally finding a way out through the right side tunnel. Orange opting for the left side tunnel. But the lizards in close quarters making things problematic. Orange Lizard running afoul a Wiggly Boy. The DLL causing them to opt for a more rightward path. They're trying to hold on to their child amidst a caramel lizard hopping around. Pink Lizard stuck in a small room with many enemies. Unsure if they'll be able to grab a child and save it from that red lizard chomping around. Orange Lizard trying to get themselves into a pipe, but there is a camo and eel lizard all over the place. Pink Lizard backtracking a little bit, the low gravity making it even more difficult to get away, especially with the vulture guarding the pipe. Orange Lizard unfortunately finding themselves slain in midair, taking our first death. Pink Lizard trying to get out of the underground tunnels as more and more lizards and vultures clog up the pipes. They've managed to survive so far, but at what cost? Orange Lizard quickly trying to make it through the pipes before they are likewise stymied by the many, many lizards. An unfortunate Besplosion dropping them down, down, down. Oh, barely Matrix dodging that caramel lizard, launching itself out of that pipe. Pink Lizard, childless, but moving forward at rapid speed. It seems the rivulets have been given a hefty dose of sugar. Pink Lizard trying to do a runner on the scavenger toll, finds a spear to the face for their troubles, and it seems they have got their first death. Orange Lizard seeing some natural-born Wiggly Boys, unsure if they're going to go for the bypass or if they are going to turn around. Pink Lizard trying to move a bit faster to not get clogged up by lizards, going for their original path up and right. Orange Lizard trying to do a runner past the Wiggly Boys, finds themselves instantly slurped. You gotta avoid that main body of the DLL. Pink Lizard investigating the scavenger staff to see if they can arm themselves. Low gravity making it difficult to grasp anything. Seems they are running over and firmly getting their child by the scruff. Orange Lizard finding a nice bit of water in the drainage systems thanks to the shelter failure. Rivulet swimming nicely in their natural habitat. The wet mouse quite at home amidst the watery depths. Pink Lizard navigating towards the natural-born DLLs that got Pink Lizard last time. Uh-oh. They go back for their child. Will they be able to get past the DLL or will their child be slurped as a sacrifice? They manage to alley-oop, but the pipe they're looking for is blocked by all sorts of creatures. Orange Lizard finding their caverns stuffed full of dead and napping red lizards, and Eel Lizard also wiggling around. Both rivulets being given sugar, the wet mouse becoming the hyper mouse. Low gravity making it difficult for Pink Lizard to find their way down, dangerously floating back towards where those DLLs are. Orange Lizard grasping their own child, trying to get through. Pink Lizard, with the help of the sugar, sliding right by the DLLs. The explosion making it difficult to get through the pipe, but it also knocks loose those napping red lizards and they can get on through. Grabbing a second child, Pink Lizard finds themselves interrupted by a nefarious pop turtle, both of their children flying around like popcorn that they are. They try and grab them again. Orange Lizard finding themselves down in the depths due to the heavily falling rain, opting to just continue going left instead of back upward. They have lost control of both of their children, alas. Pink Lizard and Orange Lizard finding themselves infested with some mushroom juice, slowing down time, not proving very helpful to Pink Lizard, who gets once again schwacked by a pop turtle, causing them to waste a bit of time getting their children back in hand, but they have their two children, and a bit of a rocket jump boosting them forward. Tight grasps on their children keep them from being flung out of their hands. Orange Lizard now trying to backtrack and go up. Not sure if they'll be able to find any success. That rain is falling down quite hard. Avoiding death, at least. Oh no. Pink Lizard, one of their children, playing dead for a moment, but manages to rest. Oh, and a blue lizard chomping out of the pipe. It seems Pink Lizard might be offering up one of their children as a sacrifice, but the blue lizard ignores it, going straight for the main course. It seems they don't want the chicken nuggets, they want the whole chicken tender. Orange Lizard still navigating through the cave complex, becoming more difficult as both Orange and Pink Lizard find themselves in the grasp of the deep dark night. Neither of them bringing a flashlight. Pink Lizard making a stop for breakfast, taking a heaping dose of popcorn from the offered plant. Orange Lizard trying to navigate in the shadows, but finds themselves instead eaten by the darkness. Pink Lizard drawing the attention of a cyan, their children offered up as sacrifice. Both of them being slain. Not sure what Pink Lizard's trying to do. Perhaps using their children to tame these menacing lizards. Orange Lizard being scared by a napping red lizard right next to the pipe. Oh, an explosion launching Pink Lizard away from the cyan. It seems the cyan may be stunned or perished. Orange Lizard going through the wiggly room. We'll see if they'll be able to go right past or if they will be slurped once again. Uh-oh, Nightfall seems to have come for both of these players once again. Pink Lizard stuck in close quarters combat, unable to find a living child, opting to fight a lizard and then abandoning that. Oh, they do have a child on their back, but knowing their history, this is merely a sacrifice they are willing to give. Orange Lizard making their way past the Wiggly Boys, an explosive spear in hand. We'll have to see if they'll use that anywhere or if they will drop it with their butter fingers. Pink Lizard having trouble keeping their child on their back. All sorts of teleports, throwings, and explosions making this difficult amidst the lizard onslaught. Orange Lizard being helpfully thrown away from the Wiggly Boys, safe and sound, but now losing hold of their child. The lights have been turned back on for our players. Orange Lizard grabbing a spear, arming themselves for combat, and then not even needing it by getting teleported all the way across the room. Giving an Eel Lizard a head pat before moving right along. We see a Blue Lizard consuming a child. We'll have to see if Orange Lizard will save it or leave it to die in that lizard's grasp. Pink Lizard making it to the first shelter of our players, also, I believe, with a child. We have our first progress between these two players. Orange Lizard taking a minute to eat a bit of food, but falling afoul low gravity. Pink Lizard with a shelter failure. It seems their child, though they have it, is starving. And the Pink Lizard exploding inside their shelter is making it difficult for them to exit the shelter. Oh, and a train lizard appears for Orange Lizard, and it seems they get got. They are back to spawn. Pink Lizard trying to make their way to a gate. They have a child on their back, but it seems they are not opting for the gate. They're doing a bit of backtracking. A mole lizard making itself known, but the blind lizard that it is, not so great at swimming, it seems. Orange Lizard starting over from the initial spawn, going down and left once again. Seems to be a popular route for both of these players. We'll have to see where Pink Lizard wishes to go, as they did not opt to traverse the gate offered to them. Orange Lizard finding an Aquapede on land. The Zappy Boys still full of electricity, and they slide right on by. Both of our players activating their special vision right as the rain starts storming in for Orange Lizard. The rivulet is no stranger to a bit of water, however, and that poses no problem as they travel west, west, west. Both of the Wiggly Boys forming a wall, but that does not matter as their chat gives them a helping teleport through. Pink Lizard going back to the popcorn plant. We'll have to see if they are trying to combat the sugar given to these rivulets, making it very difficult to control these rapid wet mice. Pink Lizard making it to the scavenger merchant. However, low gravity makes it difficult to do any kind of trade. Orange Lizard similarly finding themselves floating in the void of the cavern. Gravity finally returning for these players. Oh, and Orange Lizard scared by the Aquapede in front of them, which seems to have been chomped by another blue lizard. It seems their jump scare is nothing, and they won't have to worry about getting tasered to death. Pink Lizard floating amidst a few wall-crawling camo lizards. It seems they evade them and make it out and above, avoiding some kelp. Pink Lizard quickly traversing the area. Oh, and an explosion knocks them loose. Orange Lizard trying to make it over to the previous tunnel, but they keep getting zipped back into a party of lizards. We have a veritable menagerie going on. One of each color. Grab a fistful of Skittles, why don't ya? A vulture has found its way into the cavern. Quite confused, it is now on the hunt. We'll have to see if Orange Lizard can avoid its gasping maw. Pink Lizard dodging all the kelp amidst the rainy days. A bunch of lizards exploding in their face. We'll have to see if they can avoid their jaws. They're able to give their child one bit of food, but there's going to be a lot more food to feed them if they want a fed, not starving child. Oh, when Pink Lizard finds themselves floating into the jaws of a green lizard. Orange Lizard also getting got. Pink Lizard seeming to hope they can shake loose, but they have given up and decided to go ahead and restart. Both players now without the shelter failure. Pink Lizard with their child, but the oh-so-helpful exploding lizard in their shelter, making it difficult to escape. Pink Lizard with two fistfuls of children by the scruff. A guardian also blocking the gate. We'll have to see if it magnanimously allows Pink Lizard to travel into the next zone. It seems to be guarding that tunnel. Not sure if it will be aggressive or passive. Orange Lizard making their way through the Wiggly Boys. A bunch of explosions, and it seems our players have run out of time. The Guardians saying no to the Pink Lizard's progress, and the Orange Lizard perishing before they can make any themselves. The poll should be up shortly to vote whether you want Orange Lizard or Pink Lizard to get the W today. Both players having a mixture of success and failure. The poll is live. Pink Lizard managing to have 2 slug pups, as well as making progress in resting in a shelter. Orange Lizard themselves having a bit of trouble with the teleportations in the Wiggler room. They did manage to survive much longer than Pink Lizard, so it is a bit of give and take between these players. A reminder, there is another channel going on, if just one stream of these shenanigans, over at the Rain World Speedrunning. And we will go to intermission while we wait for the results of the poll and get our next set of players ready. Alright, welcome back to the Wheel of Slugcat Possibilities. Our players are now going to be headed to Outskirts, but what form will they take? Let us spin the wheel to find out. And it seems we have an Artificer, the Explosion Queen themselves. Let's get our players assigned nitroglycerin at spawn and ready to go. We'll have to see where our players go from this tabula rasa, the very beginning of many Slugcat's journeys. Right outside the tutorial zone. Pink taking an early lead on their start. First one to spawn. We'll have to see if either of these players craft any explosives. I'm sure they will appreciate the concussive blast immunity as the Artificer. Although the first hurdle is making their way through these initial gates, a bunch of grubs dropping down from the skies, making it very silly on Pink's end. Orange Lizard feeling a little bit slow from the mushroom juice. Some slug pups making themselves known. Orange Lizard immediately grabbing it, trying to actually backtrack it seems, but no, deciding to go through the normal pipe. They have a grasp of two children. Pink Lizard also trying to get a hold of a couple slug pups themselves, but abandoning them to instead just make some progress through the pipe. Orange Lizard being interrupted by a vulture in the cavern, making it difficult for them to get through the pipe successfully, dropping both of their children, running in fear. Their children throwing rocks, trying to help Mama Artificer. Pink Lizard falling back into the cavern, infested now with many, many lizards and slug pups. Uh-oh, a red centipede finds its way into Orange Lizard's cavern. The heavy rain making it difficult for either player. Artificer, not known for their aquatic traversal. It seems Orange Lizard has opted to go right instead of directly up. Pink Lizard finally making it to the next room. The low gravity letting them fly across, dodging a scavenger's rock. They opt not to slay it. Oh, and a cyan launched out of the cannon at Pink Lizard. Orange Lizard finding themselves in front of a cyan, or in front of a caramel. A quick reflex of a concussive blast knocks it away before they get chomped, and they say nope to that and navigate upwards instead. Pink Lizard themselves also getting up into the third room. Orange Lizard, I believe, drawing first blood, killing a blue lizard. Delicious for them. We'll have to see if they'll take a bite and go for a save. Pink Lizard finding themselves concerned with a wiggly DLL, nopes out of that room and leaves. Both players without children, although Orange Lizard seems to be going back for one, but nope. wishes to commit more violence, killing another blue lizard. A green lizard launching uselessly out of a top cannon. Artificer looks on in glee as it gives them another victim to slay. Orange lizard really out for blood today. Pink lizard also getting themselves a kill on an orange lizard, possibly threatening our other player. How fearsome. Pink lizard being full of food. We'll have to see if either player will try and save. A cyan makes a leap for pink, who dodges it quite quickly, having an explosion and duck of their own. Pink lizard crafting an explosive spear, gets it taken immediately by another cyan lizard as a train lizard rolls in. Orange lizard getting themselves a caramel flower, engaging a vulture in close quarters combat as a red lizard appears, barely making their way up to another zone before getting in the grasp of their jaws. Orange lizard going for a long journey through, bypassing a shelter, going through the dragon room, but exploding themselves backwards, opting to instead take the shelter. Pink lizard, alas, finding themselves slain, and now they have to contend with a shelter failure. This is very dangerous for the artificer. Orange lizard has made their way with some progress up at the top. A red lizard falling into pink lizard's cavern, but it is simply taking a nap. Orange lizard seems to have gotten a couple of different lizard kills. I believe they have at least 2 colored lizards. We'll have to see if they'll be aiming for a Dragon Slayer achievement. A train lizard coming into their little cavern, making it difficult for Orange lizard to decide if they wish to grab a new slug pup or if they wish to run away. Train lizards not easy to slay, especially with so many other lizards contending for their flesh, and they find themselves eaten. Pink lizard very, very confused with so many lizards dropping into a small cavern. I think we have assembled one of each color. I think that is a hat trick for pink lizard, but I don't think this terrarium is very safe for them to live in. I imagine the lizards are much more safe behind some glass. Orange lizard finding themselves in a spot of trouble, though they managed to make a rest. All the lizards spawning down is making it difficult to get any further progress. They wiggle free from being chomped. Pink lizard finding themselves confused and grasped with a Wiggly Boy DLL, making it difficult to navigate the small room. Orange lizard slaying their brethren, possibly owed them a couple karma, but not even deigning to take a bite of their flesh, instead jumping upward and outward. It seems they are going for a variety of kills. They may actually be trying to get that Dragon Slayer. Pink lizard finally making a bit of progress. The lizard swarm certainly trying to manifest within the caverns. Chat being ever so helpful to these players. Orange lizard going into a wide open area, possibly making it easier for them to slay. Pink lizard hopping around, and now both of our artificers have been hopped up with some sugar. We'll have to see how if the extra speed makes it easier for them to survive or slay. Pink lizard finding themselves in a predicament once again. Many lizards spawning into their tight caverns, and it seems they are wiggling, they are surviving, they are besploding. Orange lizard finding themselves floating all over the place. Uh-oh. I'm not sure if they'll be able to survive much longer. There are some caramels that are leaping up, trying to grasp them. A red lizard taking a nap. Seems it is not alive. Blue lizards climbing on the walls. Camel lizards climbing on the walls. Everyone wants a bite of these slug cats. Pink lizard trying to get a bit of progress. They have a living red lizard. It seems they've angered it and woken it up, and they cannot get out of the lizard pile. They find themselves once again returned to the beginnings. Orange lizard, not sure what to do, finally escapes the lizard room, decides they've had enough of that. They have in their grasp a couple spears, but their Butterfingers drops them. Oh, close quarters for an explosion, almost stuns them to death. The rain seems to be coming in. Orange lizard dying certain death by finding a tunnel into a enclosed space. Pink lizard likewise taking refuge before going upwards. We'll have to see if they'll be able to make it to that shelter. Both players activating night vision goggles. I'm not sure that will help them very much. Orange Lizard dodging a train lizard, perhaps going to try and kill it for the kudos. Pink Lizard so close to the shelter. We'll have to see if they take that option. I'm not sure if they are fully satiated. They go to the dragon room. Orange Lizard making their way uptown. We'll have to see if this funky cat will go back to the shelter and make progress on their delaying. Pink Lizard going up and left, going further into the outskirts region than Orange Lizard has opted for. A lizard launching out of the cannon right in front of Pink Lizard's eyes. They manage to duck it. They almost get bit, but they duck that lizard too. Orange Lizard making heavy use of their spears and concussive blasts. Pink Lizard trying to get to a new zone. Has had enough of outskirts, the industrial complex right before their eyes, but how simple will it be to pass through this gate? Orange Lizard finding themselves once again overwhelmed with the manifested lizards in the area, leaving and trying to find another zone of peace. Pink Lizard finding themselves returned backwards into outskirts. They cannot so easily escape the grasp. Both players with the clock ticking, trying to make ends meet. Pink Lizard might be heading further and further left. Orange Lizard opting for a different route, currently floating off into space. Orange Lizard sees the return of gravity, almost dropping them right onto the face of a caramel, but dodges it in time. Pink Lizard going up, up, and left. A helpful creature implosion, knocking everything loose. Question mark? Not sure if they appreciate that. They seem to just be going up, up, and left. We'll have to see if Pink Lizard tries to achieve the Slugcat space program. And now the mushroom juice comes in to slow things down. Orange Lizard trapped in the lower caverns with a taser spear. A blue lizard hot on their tails, or rather, correction, cyan. It seems Orange Lizard has rubber banded backwards and deciding, nope, they will simply go up instead of back down. They better hurry because a camo lizard is hot on their tails. And night seems to have descended for both of our players. Pink Lizard way on high in outskirts. Seems they're trying to take a bite out of a camo lizard. Or perhaps it is a axolotl. Hard to tell with darkness amidst here. But it is not dead yet, and they only just maul it. Orange Lizard likewise trying to make their ways upwards. Pink Lizard finally getting a delicious bite out of a happening dead blue, I believe. Pink Lizard going down, down, and left. We'll have to see if these players are going to grace the scavenger toll and commit violence upon the scavengers as revenge. We have some slug pups spawning in. We'll have to see if either players are able to grasp them. Orange Lizard having a karma flower and putting a child on their back. The lights have been turned back on. Pink Lizard finding their progress blocked with all the lizards. But a giant explosion shakes things up and unclogs their pipe. They're almost flung into the void, but the Artificer, Pink Lizard, successfully launches themselves backwards to safety. Orange Lizard, likewise, holding onto their child tightly, trying to make progress further towards the farm arrays. Thankfully, though they dropped their spear from Butterfingers, their child is holding tightly onto their back. Many, many lizards are finding their way onto the screen, making it hard for Orange Lizard to make any progress. Oh, and they fall down. They seem to have dropped their child because of their concussive blast. Both players finding themselves in a cramped room with many lizards. Orange Lizard getting crunched. Their spines snapped and all of their hunting progress lost. Pink Lizard, however, without child, but with survival, continuing on, slides on by Orange Lizard, Orange Lizard's cousin, not being so adroit in hampering the progress of Pink Lizard. Orange Lizard making quick outroads to the west, grabbing a spear, perhaps trying to do some more hunting, or perhaps trying to get to that toll. Neither players committing much scav violence, too distracted by all of the lizards dropping on in. Pink Lizard finds another train lizard. It seems the trains are running on time today. Orange Lizard running afoul of a Wiggly Boy. The DLL spinning. It seems it's too distracted to go after Orange Lizard, who decides to go up. They find a sudden downpour, but they get into shelter just in time. Artificer surviving the rain with a bit of sealing. Pink Lizard trapped in a lizard-infested room. We'll have to see how they escape out of this one. It doesn't look very good. They have all sorts of lizards down there. They should really sell tickets to get access to this zoo. Orange Lizard seems to now be opting for the industrial complex themselves this time, but being yanked downward and deciding, nope, we're going to go west. Pink Lizard in the open air region. We'll have to see if they can collect all the lizards again. Oh, geez. Look at them. Caramels, Train Lizards, Cyans. Oh, my. I think the only thing we're missing is a Red Lizard. Oh, and Pink Lizard coughs up a DLL. Didn't realize it was stored in their stomach. They get out of there lickety-split before the Wiggler grasps them. Oh, and then a giant explosion for both players shakes up the room, and it seems both of our players likewise find themselves perishing. Poll is now up. Which player do you think deserves your W? Both players finding rough troubles in the caverns of Lizard Torment. Pink especially surviving quite long amidst the troubles. Orange Lizard managing to get some progress saved and quite a bit of hunting, but did not manage to preserve and possibly get the Dragon Slayer. We'll have to see who wins as we cut to intermission.
Hello everyone. Currently we don't have a huge amount of participants available for matches on a second stream, so we're going to simplify and just be running the Rain World speedrunning stream going forward. Thank you all for watching, both on this channel and the other channel, and we will see you all on Rain World speedrunning channel. Additionally, we will be running matches next weekend for all the finalists that have made it past the 3 matches that they've made it to. And alright, thank you all for watching. We're gonna raid into the Rain World speedrunning channel now.